Good evening. This is the December 17th, 2025 meeting of the Newcastle Zoning Board of Appeals. Before we start our regular agenda tonight, we have a little housekeeping to do. Last month's meeting, we passed a request for the 2 Meadow Hill Way application. And it seems that there was a discrepancy in the calculations for their driveway grade. If Bob is here, he's gonna explain it to us, and it's simple to rectify. Can you give us an update on that, Bob?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board and council. Yes, the reason for the discrepancy is because the original 3 variances as requested was based upon a survey that was prepared by a different surveyor a year and a half ago by the name of Ronald Prasad. So when I reviewed that, it needed the 3 variances based on the as-built at that time. And at that time, it was probably the binder course and not the top course. So what they do is they put down the binder course for all the construction so the driveway doesn't get beat up with the heavy machinery. When they're done, they put down the top course. So what happened was, evidently, they hired a new surveyor, T.C. Merritt's Land Surveying, who came in and took survey shots after the as-built, after the top course was installed. So based on that survey, that was the one that was submitted by Alan Pilch at the last meeting. Unfortunately, the original denial letter was based on the old survey as opposed to the new survey, and that's where the confusion is. So my opinion in looking at both of the variances based on the old survey, on the new survey that was presented by him, but not documented in the actual resolution, they're very similar. One's not worse than the other, so I don't have any objection to that new variance being requested that was prepared by Alan Pilch, which was a 6.19 variance at station 0 plus 30. Hopefully that explains the confusion between the 2.
Okay, so what we're doing then is we're reducing the amount of variance that we granted last month,
Yes.
correct? Correct.
Yes,
Okay.
that is
So
correct.
I don't think that should be a big deal, as long as we're not increasing anything. Is there any comments from the board on this? No. Anybody out in the audience want to comment on this? No. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I just want to make sure a couple of things are on the record, and obviously I guess you'll just restate what the new approved variance is.
Exactly.
So there's going to be a revised notice of denial in the file, which will reflect the new variance that's being requested, and I believe you'll cover this, but because it's a more minor variance than the one that was granted, there's no need to renotice or anything like that. We're covered in that regard, and there shouldn't be any inconvenience to the applicant because we spoke to the building inspector yesterday, and Bob and I did, and there should be no issues with moving forward with the CO based on the.
So they'll get their CO right away, there will be no hold, which is a good thing, okay.
So I just wanted to, that's all I wanted to
The
know.
record is perfect, thank you so much. Okay. So do we need to have a vote on this, or what do you think legally, I think we should.
Yes.
I think we should.
Yes, because there is, this is the new variance, which is
Okay.
kind of subsumed in the old one,
Okay.
but it is a different final variance, so
Right.
so maybe if we just reflect that on the record and vote on it, I think that's fine.
So I'll make an amended motion for the application of 2 Meadow Hill Way for driveway variance of 6.19%, which is less than it was when we originally approved this application. And by changing it, we will not affect the neighborhood in any negative way. And we will not be holding up the homeowner with his CO because of it. And there is no other objections to this that we know of from any of our agencies in town. I'm sure the homeowner would be happy to continue. And if anybody is okay with that, I'll make that my motion.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordino,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Ronald Jenzik.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan. Aye.
Okay, we cleaned up our housekeeping.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, good night,
Happy holidays all.
you too.
Extension, agree with the extension with Lupinacci.
Yes,
I'm online if you can hear me.
okay, go ahead, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for the meeting tonight. I came in front of the board on June 27th, looking for a variance related to a pool. We technically did not break ground, but we have started the engineering process, started the mechanical engineer process for a backflow valve and had a plumber install that. So we have started the project, but we have not broken ground. So Mr. DePaul thought it would be best that I come in and ask for a 6-month variance since we have not broken ground in the first 6 months. So I'm here asking for a 6-month extension to the variance of June 27th.
And so your 6-month extension is gonna add to the completion time as well, is that what you're planning? Cause usually it's 6 months to start and a year to finish.
Yes, sir. 6 months to start and then 6 months to finish. So yes, we're asking for 6 months, another 6 months to start, and I would ask to tack on another 6 months to finish. Once we finish the engineering drawings, we are hoping to start in March or April. And talking to the pool contractor, we should be able to. But it would be best if I just asked for a complete 6-month extension on the start and also on the finish, please.
Okay, so that's reasonable, I have no problem with that, anybody on the board have any questions?
Fine.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we grant the 6-month extensions as requested.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giardina.
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Ronald Jenzik.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan. Aye.
You have your extension, good luck.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays. Have a good night.
You
Thank
too.
you too. Next up is Coogan.
Good evening, I'm Charles Napoli, I'm the architect for the Coogans who are here with me tonight. I would have permission to hand out some extra paperwork. I've added our directions as to what we're doing to solve some of our problems. May I?
Absolutely.
Pick a card, any card. I've got some pictures there. You might have the pictures in a file. These are color. Oh, this is more, yeah, it's different more. See the pictures. This is the new pictures of the property. Here you go. It's the same, everything's the same except I've added a few photos of driving up the hill and past the property.
Chuck, do you have
Yeah.
anything from?
Sure. So at number 1 Cedar Lane, we are surrounded by roads. A triangular piece of property that's 1/2 acre in a 1 acre zone. And it sits at the top of a very steep hill on rock. The property has no basement, it's rock. It has hardly any storage space. It's a smaller house. It's a 4-bedroom house, but it's a small, modest house on the property. And every single part of this house is in the front yard setback, a front yard setback. And we started this project a few years ago in an effort to create a back stair from the second floor and to create a second bathroom upstairs for guests and or family, so that and so we've done an addition to the main body of the house that you see in sketch number, well, it says guest guest west elevation view. You see a few more sketches on the larger sheets near page 4 and 5. We did that a long time ago. Simply all we did was take what was a very small guest room, the fourth bedroom, and moved it out onto a flat deck. And what was the very small guest room, we created some master bath, another bath and a master closet for gowns for my opera singer and some suits for Drew Coogan. So we adjusted that. In the process, we were looking at another place to put a car, because right now all the cars are out on the driveway. And what we did instead of going underneath and putting a driveway underneath, which is not possible because it's all rock, what we added was a 2-car garage on top of the pavement that's already there. We displaced 500 square feet of pavement, we removed it a little bit, but we eliminated the cars backing out onto Cedar Lane. Right now, the cars are coming into somewhat of a courtyard, as you can see, and it's a 3-point drive. I mean, it's not easy to get in or out, but it's modest. It's a modest driveway, and it functions perfectly, especially for the 2 new electric cars that are gonna go in there. We didn't want the cars underneath the house. We want them separate and have their own charger. There is not a lot of space in that garage. It's as tight as it possibly can be. The back out and turning radiuses are as tight as they possibly can be. And so what happened was we ended up with a couple of corners of that garage sticking out close to the road. So thus the variances for the garage. One of them, as you can see there is the south corner of the garage. Where you see a little stairway, by the way, that little stairway goes up to storage space, which we don't have in the house. We've added storage space for storage, and we also added the 2-car garage. The point of that 2-car garage is what's facing McKesson Hill, and it happens to be the lowest point of the roof. So we're not trying to make it feel too big. And also similarly, when you look on the Cedar Lane side of that garage, it is the lowest point of that roof also. It's only 8 feet. So we're trying to lessen the impact on the roads and of the building on the roads. And at the same time solve our storage problems and to solve our car problems. I think a good portion of this is about safety. The other part is that it's a small house on a small piece of property. We want a little more space for the conveniences of everyday living. And that's, so our hope is for variances, so many variances. I mean, every corner of this house is in the front yard. And matter of fact, this whole property only has 3 corners, and it's all front yards. And so I look to get some relief on allowing us to put this garage on what was the big driveway. And just to complicate things, we're putting the garage on the driveway. That now turns into development coverage. And it takes away, building coverage, and it takes away development coverage. So development coverage got lower and building coverage got a little bit bigger because the garage is counted in building coverage. So it's a balancing act. And whenever we took driveway and away, we added it somewhere else in a different form. And that's the latest on my requests. Variances for the existing building and variances for the brand new garage.
Just to clarify, Chuck,
Yes.
building coverage, even though you've added to it,
Yeah.
should you take note that you have not exceeded the allowable. So that's a good thing.
No, definitely not.
You did a good job on that.
We're below it, that's for sure.
You're 88% of your coverage now, but you haven't exceeded it, so
Yes.
that's, we give you credit for that.
Thank you for that.
Okay. Any comments?
I just have a question, Chuck.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the height of the garage, like you mentioned it was 8 feet on the side.
The spring line is 8 feet where the
Spring
roof
line.
starts.
And you did that to lessen the impact, the visual impact?
Definitely.
Okay.
yes. And the way it's turned, it's a very sharp point going out closer to the road, so it's not a big wall. So I'm trying to minimize that impact also, and it's also the lowest corner. Now, there are two dormers you can see in there, but they are in the middle of the roof. It's-
Yeah, they're on top of the spring line.
Yeah, you can see some of these pictures across the bottom, how steep this property is. And on the top left-hand corner of the drawing I gave you, that is the view coming up Cedar Lane from the north to the south. That's just to give you an idea how steep this property is.
Anybody else? Anybody in the audience would like to comment on this application? Is there anybody online who wants to comment on this application?
No hands are raised online.
No hands are raised.
We're across the street neighbors and we have no problem with this.
Oh, okay, good, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Lily.
We were wondering,
She's on.
there's also another neighbor who
Yes, sir.
In case I move we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giardina.
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Got the Coogan application for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put it in the record. Just like this piece of property, if it's not the most unique piece of property in the whole town, it's gotta be right up near the top.
It's gotta be there.
Some of us on the board are familiar with this, and it's a very difficult
Yeah.
thing to work with.
You can see all the variances we had to go, good for doing anything, you needed a variance, thank you.
So we fully understand your plight.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the following variances. A front yard variance for the new garage at McKesson Hill Road of 47.1 feet.
Isn't that 47.3?
Nope, I got one.
This
I'm
is
gonna make
3.
it plain for 40.6 feet.
Yes.
And a front yard variance for the existing garage at McKesson, 42.3 feet. Front yard variance for the existing garage at Cedar Lane, 40.6 feet. Front yard variance for a second floor addition, McKesson, 34.2 feet. Front yard variance for the second floor at the Cedar Lane outside of 48.35 feet. Okay,
And
No,
that-
that's,
Tony?
no, it's, no.
Tony, the existing,
Can I get them?
Yeah.
the existing change of use Cedar Lane is
Oh, okay.
12.8.
Well, that's where they wanted, this is
Cedar
what they
Lane.
want it to be.
Is
Alright, so we're gonna
Yeah.
change it.
we're getting 12.8, is that?
Okay,
Yeah, 12.8.
12.8, okay, right, 12.8, 11.7 is the next one.
Got it.
Got it?
It's a lot.
Anybody else have any comments?
No.
And correct me another mistake?
Sorry, no, I.
Tonight is my night.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, I do have a question. I'm looking at the notice of denial.
Yeah,
Yes,
I probably should have read from there.
You did. That is the
Yeah, but I mixed it in with some of my own stuff.
Oh, you're the one who did all those
That was a
calculations.
mistake. Alright, we'll use the variances as listed on the notice of denial, okay, and that'll make everybody happy. And we should approve these variances for the following reasons. As stated prior, this is, if not the most unique property in town, it's right up there at the top. Some of us on the board are already familiar with it, there's nothing but front yards on this piece of property. It's a triangular piece surrounded by streets and roads, difficult to do anything without a variance. The granting of the variance will not create any undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood. There is no other way to achieve the desired end other than to grant this variance. There'll be no adverse effects to the physical environment conditions in the neighborhood. It's a toss-up if it's a self-created hardship or not. I'm gonna say it's not a self-created hardship because the property created its own hardship. And if you can provide us with the required surveys, foundation for the new garage, et cetera, we shall grant this variance. You'll have 6 months to start and 1 year to finish. Are you okay on timing with that?
Yeah, we're good with that.
Okay.
I'm gonna second the motion, but before I do, I just need to say that this artwork is just really beautiful. This is
Oh, you're so kind.
this looks like a Jamie Wyeth picture to me, but anyway.
I like the other one, the other one, the next one is pretty good too.
Really pandering.
No, I think number 4 or 3. There,
Oh, this one?
Yeah, that is Cedar Lane.
That looks like the unfinished Jamie Wyeth, but anyway, I second the motion.
Chairman Giordino.
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Ronald Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
You have your variance.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you so much all.
Happy holidays.
Letterman? Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you nailed it. Not many people do, so thank you.
Okay. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Sure.
Tell us what it is that you seek.
Good evening. My name is Alex Letterman. My wife Nina and I purchased our home at 127 Bridges Road about 2 years ago. We really enjoyed getting to know the community, and we're planning to spend many years in our home, and we're seeking your assistance to help us safely and happily achieve that goal. I'm here today to present plans for improvements to the exterior of our home, including an at-grade patio, installation of a deck, and installation of a kit-assembled greenhouse. We have 2 main goals for this project. The first is to make the existing topography of the backyard easier and safer to traverse for our family and friends. And the second is to maximize the enjoyment we get from the natural beauty of our surroundings. The existing condition of our property presents some unique challenges for making improvements. The first obstacle is that our property predates the town zoning code. We have a half-acre lot in the 1 acre zoning district. And the second challenge is that our property is a corner lot, making it subject to the double front setback, much like the topic before. These conditions combined create an existing hardship that make it difficult to complete any improvement to the property by right. So we are seeking approval for 2 setback variances to account for these challenges. The first variance is for the front yard setback from Turner Drive to accommodate the at-grade patio and a very small corner of the planned stairs leading up to the proposed deck. And so for the patio, the proposed front yard setback is 41 feet, a difference from 19 feet from the required 60. For the deck stairs, the proposed front yard setback is 58 feet, a difference of 2 feet from the required 60. The second variance we're seeking is for the side yard setback requirement to accommodate the installation of the kit assembled greenhouse. The proposed side yard setback is 26 feet, a difference of 9 feet from the required 35. On page 1 of the plans that we've submitted, you'll find 5 photos of the existing exterior of the property. Photos 1, 2, 3, and 4 show the street view of the property from the front, corner, and side views of the house. The proposed deck and patio will be blocked from view by the existing topography of the property and will not impact existing visibility from the street or adjacent properties. And photo number 5 shows the proposed location of the greenhouse where an existing garden resides. If you flip to page 2 of the plans that we've submitted, you'll find a more detailed view of the proposed patio, deck, and a rendering of the greenhouse. At the bottom of the page, you'll see the cross-section elevation drawings from the rear and side views looking back up onto the property from the backyard. The proposed patio will be at grade, and our intent for the deck is to maintain a low design profile to minimize disruption to the natural beauty and any visibility impacts to surrounding property. The deck is only intended to be built high enough to address the slope of the yard to provide a safe level decking surface. The greenhouse, the proposed location of the greenhouse was strategically selected to maximize the amount of year-round sunlight it would receive on our heavily wooded property. So with that, I'll pause for a moment for you to review and open to any questions.
I'm okay with this. I looked it over before the meeting and I don't see anything that I have objection to. I'm not sure about the board. Anybody on the board have any comments?
I just have a question. What is the size of the proposed greenhouse?
It is 6 by 9,
6 by 9.
modest.
Modest.
Nina wanted something much bigger, but we can't eat that many tomatoes.
That's a modest size.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody in the audience would like to comment on this application? No. Anybody online want to comment on this application? No hands raised. Okay, so I move we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordino.
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Ronald Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan. Aye.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion in reference to the Letterman residence at 127 Bridges Road for a series of variances. In part, there would be a patio as well as a greenhouse. The patio is basically put in place to mitigate the slope of the yard. The greenhouse, the location is set up to maximize the sunlight. They have a low design profile of the deck in order to keep in concert with the natural surroundings. The purpose for the work on the property is one, for safety, and two is to enjoy the surroundings, their property. They are a half-acre lot in an R1A zone, and the greenhouse is 6 by 9 kit assembled greenhouse. The granting of this variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties. The benefits sought by applicants, and let me just back up and just say that they have their properties on 2 front yard zones, so I should go back to that. The variances will be a front yard variance of 19 feet for Turner Road. The deck stairs built-in planter is a variance on Turner Road of 2 feet. The greenhouse, which is a side yard variance, is a 9-foot variance for side yard 9-foot variance. And again, going back, the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. The benefits sought by applicants probably cannot be achieved by any other method since the property is small and there is a slope. The requested variances are somewhat substantial in that they're numerable, but this is a legal non-conforming piece of property. It will not have an adverse effect on the impact of the physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood. There are no neighbors who have written or are present in opposition to the variance. Much like the previous variance request, it is potentially not a self-created hardship in the fact that the applicants are dealing with limited resources on the property. And I think we'll need 6 months to start and 1 year to finish. And what do we need in terms of survey?
Just gonna be an as-built survey at the end.
Okay, so we'll need an as-built survey at the end.
Okay, I'll second that.
Chairman Giordino.
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Ronald Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb. Kathleen Darazan.
You have your variance.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Have a good night. And happy holiday.
Saha,
Good evening. I'm representing Mr. Sa for the gazebo legalization. I might share my screen just to sort of is everyone able to see the screen?
Yep.
Okay. This is the property at 42 Old Mill Road. At some stage, a couple of years ago, Mr. Sa built a gazebo. He built it himself on what is the only sort of level portion of the property. You have a look, sort of difficult to describe, but in this photo you can see the deck is quite high up and the property drops off. And in this back section of the property, he's planted trees, very little orchard, like fruit trees, and he built a gazebo. It was unfortunately not permitted. It is a relatively low structure at 7 feet and 8 feet, 40 feet across. We are seeking a side yard variance of 1 foot for the combined side yard required in Water Acre zoning, and a front yard variance 27 feet. Now it is a oddly shaped, well the site has quite a uniform shape, but it's unique in that it has hollow road around the back, and some discussion on determined that the front yard setback. It does butt onto a wedge of also the neighbouring property, so maybe this satellite should sort of show you, but the nearest neighbour on this side is 150 feet away, and there's another sort of panhandle of their property, and then there's Hollow Oak Road. The gazebo is not very visible from Hollow Oak Road. There is a low wall and a level change, and then a series of green plants that sort of shield it. I believe it sort of suits the character of the area. It's not oversized. The house itself is pretty modest, and the window is brown, the house is brown, sort of suits skin crates. Basically use their own flat bit of land and have a very nice little sitting space for him and his family. I believe they recently had a baby, and there's a privacy fence that within the neighbouring property, and it's really the rear setback that we're sort of getting close to, but in reality it's all over the road and it's got more privacy, so transparency. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I have a question about the privacy fence. Is there a white privacy fence? Can you show that again? Yeah, right there. Is that fence the property line, or was it just put up for privacy? Because it looks like the neighbor on the other side of the fence is pretty close to the gazebo. Have they had any comment, pro or con, about this project?
No, my understanding is that there has not been any issues with the neighbours. It does form the property boundary, and I believe the fence was put up because I think the neighbour may have a playground or something, and I believe everyone's at peace with it. I'm not sure if there's anyone in the audience there today making a comment, but I have not had any feedback that fence might even predate the gazebo. I'm not sure exactly what the history of that fence is, but is there any issue?
Well, I'm not clear,
I don't know. I could check right now and ask the applicant, but I don't know.
Can you, if you're gonna check with the applicant about that, if you're able to get them now, or if you know this through your own knowledge, have there been any complaints at all about the gazebo since it was erected through the time when they filed this application?
No, there has not. From my understanding, he has not stated that anyone has complained. Started repairing his deck and doing some substantial structural work to it, which required, so when the building department saw that, he had to stop work. I'm not sure if it was a formal stop work, but he basically, I assisted him in providing plans and for a new deck, and well,
well, my question to the building department was whether or not they had received any complaints, and they have not received any complaints, so that's a plus. That was my only concern about the whole project, and if there's no complaints about that, then I can understand. I know the property is got a steep slope and it's difficult, and I can understand why it was there, so in that case, I'll ask anybody on the board to make comments if they have any comments. No hands raised online. Therefore, I will move that we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Ronald Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Need a motion.
Grant, in relation to the Chincholi Saha at the families at 42 Old Mill Road, make a motion that we grant a front yard setback, rather a front yard variance of 27 feet for a gazebo that is in place already. It was put inadvertently, evidently without particular building permits. It's an R1, it's R and then they need a variance for a side yard setback of 1 foot. The property is a very steep slope. I know this property well. And there really is very little usable land. It's understandable why they put the gazebo there. Unfortunately, they didn't get the required permits to put it in place. But that by the applicants cannot be achieved by another method. In fact, it's already in place, so it makes sense that this is where it would be. The requested variance is no other feasible method to do this. It will not have an adverse in opposition. It is probably a self-created hardship in the respect that one was built without, really is no other place to put it. Therefore, do we need a survey for this to legalize it? We'll need a final survey?
Final as-built survey.
We'll need a final as-built survey.
Okay, this survey here is as-built of the gazebo at this stage, but we will submit it again in a little time, no problem.
Yeah, the building department will determine.
Okay, right. I'll second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Ronald.
Welcome.
Thank you, good evening, and happy holidays.
Thank you, you too. Katz?
Katz.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the ZBA. I'm Jerry Garrett. I'm the landscape architect and planner for the project. I believe Michael Cade's pool patio and pool equipment pad, and I will try to share my screen so I can walk through this with you. Let's see. I don't know if that's shared. Did that share? For this webinar, it says. So apparently someone else is sharing and he needs to be stopped so I can share.
Do we know about that?
That's not me.
Ask him to try now.
Try it now.
Anything?
Not yet.
Try again.
You should have permission.
Bear with me, I'm trying to get this thing to share.
There we go, we got it.
Is that happen to share?
We got it.
Okay, good. Okay, so what we have here is, we have the survey of the existing property of what's here now. So the property occurs on Hardscrabble Road, right at the hiding houses, there's like 5 of them, they're all much lower and down slope. So when I started this, there was just a property line going like right down here, I said, yeah, it looks good, it looks like we can go ahead, we don't need any variances and all that. I said, but you're gonna have to give me a new survey, because, I need topo, I need trees, and I need this and all that. And I contacted Joe Link, and he came back with this property line, and I said, Joe, what the heck is this? What is this property line? I've never been on a job where I've got 2 different property lines. And Joe went back and he did a little bit of research, and what he found was that there was a previous survey error that was done by Campbell Engineering, and Joe thinks what happened was that after the sale of the property, the title company picked it up, because then we noticed within 2 months Campbell went out and he rectified it. So that's when we realized we're going to need a variance with the zoning board now. I'm not sure why I'm having so much trouble trying to share my site plan here. Now I've lost everybody. Sharing this plan. Right. Apologize, my 20-something-year-old tech guy is off today. Oh, dear, what the heck? Let's stop the share. I'm gonna start again. Okay, so when I first talked to Sharon and Michael Cates in 2024, in the fall of 2024, they gave me this survey, and I looked at it, and this was the line. So I said, okay, you're 35 feet. This was the existing patio that's here now. We're putting the pool right in that area. I said, yeah, we're good. And then as I said earlier, we went back.
You don't have your sharing again.
We went back and asked Joe Link to give us a new survey, and he came back with a new property line, and that's when Joe discovered that there had been an error. And so what had happened was that sometime in the past, so this was the original property line, it came right down through here. You guys can see this?
We're not seeing your screen.
What's going on?
Okay.
Can I ask him a question?
Yeah, sure.
Excuse me, sir.
Our tech guy is gonna have to put his
Okay.
input, maybe get it straightened out.
Somebody can get up the site plan. I'm not sure why I'm not able to do it. I can see it on my end, but I don't see it on your end.
Mr. Barrett, when you click on share, it's gonna give you the option to share the specific screen you want to. So that green arrow in the bottom middle of your screen, if you click on that, it'll give you the options to click the screen you would like to share.
The problem is I'm not seeing my share menu on the bottom of my screen as I normally do.
Are you looking at the Zoom app?
Oh dear. Got my PDFs open, so I don't understand why. And so I just tried sharing again and it did not share, correct?
Correct.
You sharing you? Oh, there you go.
That's me.
Is someone on your end able to share the site plan?
Jerry, I'm sharing the site plan. Let me let me find it.
Thank you. think you just had it.
I went past it.
No, I don't know, maybe I saw it on my end.
Yeah.
Then it's probably coming up.
Where's A? Didn't show A.
There you go.
That's it. So that's the site plan, if you guys can see that.
Yeah, it's right here someplace, because there's supports, right? That's the circle. Yeah.
So what you see on the site plan, you can see the residence is over to the left where it says proposed site plan. You can see that the residence, and right behind the residence, we show the patio and the pool. If you look where the pool is, you'll see a red circle, and that's the existing patio that's there. So essentially, we're putting the pool right in the patio that's there. But if you look to the left, and you see the garage that was built in about 2008, that was subject to a variance from the zoning board in 2008. You can see behind the garage, there's a jog in the property line. If you look over to the plan in the middle, you can see where that jog took place. And that jog took place, I think, because of the grades on Harts Gravel Road, so they made a deal with the neighbor to the north to give them a rectangular piece of land accessing Harts Gravel Road, and they gave them a compensatory piece of land behind the garage. Well, and of course, the survey that I saw when I started didn't have that line, and we found out we had it, and we realized we needed to come to the board for a variance because of this property line change that was done, I think, probably in the late 30s when the house was built, because they realized they couldn't get off Harts Gravel Road into the property. So we've gone through and we've developed the plan. And what we've tried to do is we've tried to show you, can we go to the next plan, please, the zoning conformance plan? Okay, so if you look at this plan now, if we can just blow up the plan in the middle, if we can just blow that up a little bit, and where the pool is, you can just blow that up, you can see there's basically 3 variances that we need. So the 35-foot setback line, side yard setback line, is going to be, let's go to the, let's go to the plan, there you go, to that plan, right? And so the 35-foot setback line, based on that adjusted property line, you can see it, it's going right through the word pool, where it says 521 square feet. So you can see that it's going basically right through the middle of that circle. The middle of that circle is the existing patio that's back there. And if you look to the left, where it says auto cover on the pool, it says 19 feet 1 inch. That's the distance of the existing patio to the property line. So we were careful to cite the pool 20 feet 5 inches from the property line, because we didn't want to make it any worse than it already was. And it also, if you look down to where it says the number 3 in yellow highlight, that's the pool patio, and that's 22 feet to the property line. And if you look up where it says number 2 above, where the pool, it goes to the pool equipment, it's 25 feet. So number 1 is 20.5 feet, that's the pool. Number 2 is 25 feet, that's the equipment pad. And number 3 is the patio, which is 22 feet. And those are all in lieu of what's required, 35 feet. So those are the ones we're requiring the variances from. So we think we're making, our argument is that we're not making it any worse than it was. It's not any more non-conforming than it was. And I think what's unique about this project is, well, number one, the Cates has inherited this jog property line. But if we can go now to down to the lower left-hand corner of this page, and if you can bring that up, and where the aerial photo is, what we did there is we went and we looked at all the adjacent properties, because we feel that, we know the zoning board is always concerned about, not creating a change in the character of the neighborhood, and think because of the positioning of the Cates pool or patio in their backyard, they are at the high point. They're much higher than all of their neighbors. And so the neighbor to the north, where it says number 2, he's about 185 feet away, and he's the pool is at elevation like 578, and the neighbor to the north, he's 10 feet lower. So he's 10 feet lower, looking through 185 feet of woods to get to the pool. He's not going to see it. You go to the next guy on Northern Way on number three, where it says number 3. He's 200 feet away. And he's 38 feet lower in grade. Of course, he's looking uphill through the wood area. You go to number 4, that's Three Valley Lane, and they're 295 feet away, and they're 44 feet lower in elevation, looking up through the woods to the proposed pool area. And number 5 is number 1 Valley Lane, and they're about 190 feet away, and they're 18 feet lower, and they're looking up. So by virtue of the fact that we're up higher, and the pool is set, there's a couple of tiered retaining walls. If you go back to the site plan, please, the first one, which was one up, and okay, there's the section. You go back up, just scroll back the other way, please. Please, a little more. Thank you. So you can see where the pool is. So you see how I have these tiered retaining walls? These are gravity block retaining walls. So anybody looking up into this pool is having to look over these walls. They're just not going to see it. So we really think that this pool will not impact the neighborhood at all, because no one can see the patio now, and therefore no one's going to be able to see the pool once it's in. So we're hoping that the board can grant the variance to allow the pool to be built. We don't think there's going to be any impact to the environment. We'll follow all standard procedures during construction. There's going to be an engineering review, so there's going to be erosion controls. There's going to be plantings that have to be put in. We don't know where else. There's no place else to put the pool on the property, because if you go to the right of the pool in the lower backyard, it becomes steep slopes, and it's just too steep. If you go to the right of the house, where there is some open grass, that's where the septic is. I mean, you can't put it in the front yard. So there's really no other place to put it. As I said, I don't think there's going to be any adverse impact on the environment. And I don't think it's a self-imposed condition, because it was done in the 30s before the owners, took ownership of it. So for these reasons, we think this is a reasonable request, and we hope the planning board of the ZBA can agree with us and grant the variance.
Okay. I'm assuming this pool is gonna be gunite, or is it gonna be one of those?
Gunite with an auto cover, in pool, in a spa. It's like a 16 by 25. It's a small pool.
Right. Now usually when there's a gunite pool, I always, in my motions, I always make sure that there's a survey before the gunite is shot, in case there's a mistake. It's easier to move it then than after the pool has been shot with the gunite and it sets up. In this particular case, since you're gonna be putting the pool where there's already a patio, I'm not so sure I have to be that firm on it, but if the building department would rather see that, I'll be happy to put that into the motion. I'm getting approval or an affirmative from the building department. Good. That was my only question. Anybody on the board have any questions about this? No. Anybody in the audience? I'm sure the current audience has no complaints about this application. Is there anybody online that would like to address this application?
Yes, we have one hand raised.
We have a hand raised. Can we get them onto our screen?
Yes, they're on.
Oh, hi, hello.
Yes.
Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so I'm the owner of the property with the jog. Some of it I think is, in terms of the elevation changes is, not quite as dramatic, right? We're not looking through 181 feet of woods. Our yard, that is our backyard right there. So I was just sort of, playing with it and looking at it. I don't know why it has to be oriented in such a way to fit within the setback. If I look at it, if the pool were vertically, shifted 90 degrees, it would seem to fit. If it were shifted over a little bit, it would seem to fit. I don't see the need for a variance. And the other item of concern is just, obviously this is as you saw from the images, right, highly forested area. And I don't know what the plans are with regard regards to trees or anything of that nature, right? It's a pretty mature forest, and I imagine there would be some planned tree removals.
Jerry, can you address that?
Yes, can we go back to the site plan, please? So, in order to, good, and we come down a little bit farther, good. So, what I wanna show is on the left where it says solid wood fence, if you can see that, we can just scroll down just a little bit, there you go. So, what we're doing, and we have considered, the adjacent neighbor to the north. And, in terms of moving the pool, even if we rotated it 90 degrees and we tried to stay out of that 35-foot buffer, what's gonna happen is you can see the grades keep dropping off. If you see all those parallel dashed lines, every time that drops down, that's 2 feet lower, 2 feet lower. As it is now, I have 2 4-foot gravity block retaining walls. So I really don't wanna go any farther down the slope. Those walls are gonna start getting very big. But what we've tried to do to mitigate this, and again, we are quite a distance away, but what we would do is we would put in a 6-foot solid wood fence along the property line, and that's shown in that kind of like brownish tone. You can see the line box, the line is right parallel to the property line. So that is a solid wood fence. That's a 6-foot solid fence. And then the existing bamboo, the invasive bamboo that was planted by a previous owner, that will be taken out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a solid evergreen hedgerow of green giant arborvitaes. You see those in green? It's labeled O on the plan. So that will be green giant arborvitaes. They'll go in at they'll go in at 7 to 8 to 10 feet. So we think between the 6-foot solid fence and the arborvitaes that'll get to about 20-25 feet. I think we will effectively buffer the neighbor to the north, so there's no impact at all when this is done.
Thank you. Any comment on that? Any comment from the neighbor on that? Apparently not.
Yes.
Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, do you understand how they're gonna screen this from your?
I understand, I have a fence myself on that, so I'm not sure, on that frontage, so I'm not sure what is being proposed in addition to that. But I guess just it seems like you could do it the other way, I don't, it's preferable for some reason because of the grades, but obviously our preference would be to stay out of the setbacks. But the other sort of larger concern, while there is screening, right, it's more about the forest in that area, and there's some extremely mature trees, and I'd like to sort of understand what the plans are regarding removal of trees.
We're not proposing to take out any trees. All we're removing is the invasive bamboo that has been planted, and we are required to have a pool fence. So on the north side of the property, adjacent to your lot, we're trying to put in a 6-foot solid fence. I'm going to propose to the owners that it gets painted like a forest green color. We do this often, and when you see that through like a long distance in a wooded area, that green, it just blends into the landscape. So between that 6-foot solid fence, and then there's going to be like, there's going to be an arborvitae hedge that's going to get to 15, 20 feet tall. That's belt and suspenders. We think we can effectively provide a very strong buffer that you will never see this. And again, we're not taking out any trees. We're only taking out the bamboo. We're going to keep whatever trees are there.
Is that true that that's the long-term plan? I just know that it's a very shady backyard. I can't imagine they would want to have that much shade on the pool.
Well, because we'll be planting on the north property line. Remember, the sun rises in the east, tracks to the south and goes to the west, so it's not gonna create any shade. In fact, the shade will be cast to the north because we're putting the trees and the fence in, so the fence.
I'm saying to the south of you and is all trees. It's the side of the pool.
We're not taking out any trees to the south of the pool.
Okay. All right. I just assumed that would be part of the plan.
No, we don't have, we had a survey done, we located all the trees, we don't have to take out any trees to do this.
Okay, that's very good.
Thank you.
Thank you for your input. I move we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giardina.
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Ronald Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan. Aye.
Okay. I'm gonna, you wanna do that, Warren?
Sure, happy to. Okay, this is a application brought by Michael and Sharon Katz, 1169 House Travel Road. This is for 3 variances in connection with the construction of a swimming pool at the location. There are 3 side yard variances that are requested. For the pool, there is a requested side yard setback variance of 15 feet. For the pool equipment, there is a requested side yard setback variance of 10 feet. For the patio, there is a requested side yard variance of 14 feet. I propose that we grant the variances for the following reasons. First, looking through the 5 factors. Will the granting of the variance create an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood? I don't believe so. I think there's actually been, we've heard a lot tonight, both from the homeowner and also the adjacent property owner. And it doesn't seem that there will be any, the trees are not being disturbed. There's going to be a fence put up, and the plan is to have it a certain color so that it blends in. And there's also, it sounds like a planting plan also that's going to mitigate any undesirable change at all. Can the benefit sought be achieved by some other method? Based upon what we heard, I don't think so. It seems like there are slopes all over the property, and there's been a lot of thought put into the orientation of the pool, so that this is really the only place that it can be put. There was also, seems a lot of thought put towards not making any existing issues worse, in fact, mitigating them with respect to the current patio. Is the requested variance, are they substantial? I guess you could say nominally yes, but substantively, given the layout of the property, I don't think they necessarily are. Will there be an adverse effect on the physical environment or conditions in the neighborhood? I don't believe so. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? Well, to the extent that you wanted to have a pool, I guess you could argue that they are, but the benefit to the applicant far outweighs any issue with respect to the community. I know we did talk earlier about there being a survey given to the building department before the gun night is shot, so we want that. Does the building department need anything else?
Final survey.
Final survey, okay. 6 months to start and 1 year to finish. Is there anything else anybody else would like to add to that?
Just one addendum, and although Mr. Gottlieb just did mention about having the survey before the gun had is shot, I wanna make sure that everybody is clear on that, Jerry. When the reinforcing wire is put up, reinforcing rods are put up before they shoot the gunite, we want a survey to be sure that that pool is located where it's proposed to be, because you don't wanna have to move it after your concrete sets up.
We understand that, Mr. Chairman, and we understand it's also standard practice in town, and we do that at all times, so we have no problem with that.
That's very good, because we don't wanna have you take it out after you're done, that's not, no fun.
We don't either.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that was clear, otherwise, we're good.
Okay, I would ask for a second to the motion.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Ronald Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
You have your variance, good luck.
Thank you so much, happy holidays, everyone.
You're welcome, you too. Alright. We have approval of the minutes of the November 19th meeting. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Ronald Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan. Aye.
Okay, before we close, happy holidays, everybody, and we'll see you in January 2026.
Happy
Good night.
holidays.
Oh, true.